Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered. My name is Joe. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the brand new game from Compass Games, American Tank Ace 1944 to 1945. This is a solitaire tank combat game designed by the prolific Gregory M. Smith. This is, as it mentions here on the cover, a solitaire game. In the same vein as some of his other games, some of Gregory Smith's other games, such as The Hunters, The Hunted, Silent Victory, Interceptor Ace, Nightfighter Ace, etc. So just got this today in the mail, incredibly excited, really looking forward to playing this. So let's take a look and see what's in the box. Okay, so I removed the shrink wrap off camera, figured you don't really need to see that. So let's take a look at the back of it here, back cover. So it says American Tank Ace 1944-45 is a solitaire tactical lever game that places you in command of a U.S. tank during World War II in the European theater of operations. You will make tactical decisions a tank commander faced and control the actions of your crew while trying to survive. Okay, so it says, while American Tank Ace is designed as a solitaire gaming experience, additional options for play are provided for both multiplayer, cooperative, and competitive gaming sessions. So on the complexity scale, we get a 4 out of 10. Time scale is semi-abstract, individual missions 8 per month. I know June, you lose the first week because of D-Day being on the 6th of June. So you actually get 6 months in June of 44, but 8 months thereafter until the end of the war in April of 45. Then you have map scale, abstract, unit scale is individual tanks, crewmen, enemy vehicles, anti-tank guns, and ammo, number of players, 1 or more. Suitability for solitaire obviously is designed for solitaire play. Average time to play, 10 to 15 minutes for a single mission. So this is a fast playing game. 4 to 5 hours for the full career. Recommended for ages 14 and up. We have inside, this is what we'll see inside, 1 1/2 sheets of 9/16 inch counters, 5 tank display maps, double-sided for 10 different tank models total, 4 player aid cards, double-sided, 1 crew status display map, double-sided, 1 for an NCO and 1 for an officer, 1 8.5 by 11 inch battle board, 1 operational display, rules booklet, 1 mission log sheet, 1 10-sided and 2 6-sided dice, and obviously the game box and lid here. So the system is designed with rich technical detail based on the actual tanks used by U.S. forces. The tank mat displays correspond to each of 10 tank types available. The mat helps track the status of your tank and systems, including available weapons and ammunition. The available tanks are the M4 Sherman, the M4A1 Early, the M4A1 Late, the M4A176, the M4A176W, the M476W HVSS, the M4A3E2 Jumbo 75, the M4A3E8 Easy 8, the famous Easy 8, the M4A3E2 Jumbo 76, and the M26 Pershing. So let's take a look now and see what's actually... in the box. Right. Let's take the lid off. So we do have here our 2 6-sided dice and 1 10-sided die. Some baggies for storing our counters. Our rules of play. Take a quick look at this. So table of contents, introduction, how to play the game. Game equipment, going over the different mats and display boards you have here. How to read the markers, what the markers are, some medals and awards, crew skills, charts and tables, game setup, the start date information. Here's an example of the tank board. Events, changing tanks, Fort Knox, tank school. How to win the game, sequence of play, combat, movement to contact, specific combat informations, frontal and flanking fire, there's weather effects, call for fire, all kinds of stuff in here, crew skills. We missed a page here. Awards, promotion, prestige, and trophies. Random events, optional rules. Your game credits. Designer notes. Tank unit notes. Information on a real American tank ace, Lafayette G. Poole, in a 1949 photo. Bibliography. And then just kind of a sheet showing what the counters look like. And then you actually have a sequence of battle here on the back cover. So all in all, even with the additional stuff, this weighs in at only 27 pages. 28 if you include the back cover. So not too hefty at all. Here's our log sheet. So we have the ability to enter our missions here. You can see it starts in June 44. And on the back, it goes all the way to April of 45. It's a little hard to see there, but back of it here, April of 45. And we have our Fort Knox training chart, which also has the war trophies. So once you win a battle, you can kind of scavenge the battlefield and pick up things like Walther PPKs, Hitler Youth Knife, Zeiss binoculars, helmets, rations, iron crosses, the Nazi flag, etc. And then you can trade that stuff for items that you might need. Some high velocity armor piercing rounds, for example, things like that would be useful to have. You have a random event chart. One only can occur once per mission. Serious wound resolution chart. We have a skill effects listing and cost chart here, if I can get it out. Event check chart. On the back, we have the command summary of things you can do. As you can see, there's a lot on here. You can move to hull down, for example, angle your hull, move for a flank shot, etc., etc. There's a nice tactical aspect to this game. And the reason I know this is I watched Moe's Gaming Table. He did one of his patented Compass Games. What is it called? It's like school, I guess, where he has the designer actually show you the game. So Gregory Smith did a thing, and that's on YouTube on Moe's Gaming Table. Excellent channel if you haven't checked it out. Please do. He does some good stuff here. So here we have the M4A1 late model. So this is your tank mat. This is where you're going to play a lot of your games. You'll have information. This is where you load your weapon. Ammunition load will be in here. You have your various crew positions. A way to note if you're hull down or in open country, stuff like that. Track, if you have track damage. Radio status. Your turret facing. And you'll have a counter actually that will let you determine your hull facing as well. Then we have the M4A176. So as it says on the back, there are 5 of these. Here we have the 76W. And all of these have nice art as well. As you can see. Here's your basic M4. This is probably what you'll start the game with in most cases. Available at start, if you can see, like the M4A176 has an availability of July of 44. On the back, we have the early version of the M4A1. So their statistics will be slightly different between the different versions. Here's the Pershing, so this one will be a little bit better than your Sherman. Obviously a bit more modern tank that's not available until March of 45. With a 90 millimeter gun. So definitely an upgrade. Its armor values are also much better than the Shermans. Here's the Easy 8, which is probably the most famous version of the Sherman and probably would be considered the most effective version of it, I would think. Although you do have the Jumbos, which are up armored, to say the least, and do have the big gun, the 75 millimeter gun. So we have a Jumbo 75 and a Jumbo 76. You can see the armor values here, 8, 7, and 4. Those armor values are pretty good. And then we have our crew status. So you have one for the NCO and one for officer. And on the NCO side, you can see you can win medals Your rank goes here. You have prestige, your unit you're attached to. You gain experience and prestige, and you put them in here. Then these are skills for your crew. So your commander can have 4 things. Your gunner has 3 possible upgrades. Driver, assistant driver, and loader each have possible upgrades. And you can see the officer is similar, has similar things, different, just a different rank. And then we have some hit charts here. We have our main gun, anti-tank 2-hit chart, so when you're shooting at another tank. Our high explosive machine gun attack chart, so basically when you're fighting like infantry. Then we have our main gun anti-tank penetration chart, so you have to penetrate the armor. And one thing, I mean, if you're familiar with World War II history, you already know this, the German tanks were significantly, I hesitate to say better, but they had bigger guns and better armament, better armor rather, than the Sherman did. So you're typically fighting an uphill battle when you're taking on Panzers, especially anything Panzer IV and up. You know, you get into the Panther and Tiger range. Those were bad news in general. So here you would see this is how you generate the enemy force that you're facing, and you can see it changes from month to month throughout your career. You also, if you draw like here, it says 2, right here, 2 tank, 1 self-propelled gun, 2 infantry. So then you roll down here to find out what kind of tank. So if you're rolling for 2 tanks, you roll here to see which tanks you get. And obviously you could get some Panzer IIIs, which are the lightest of the German tanks in the game. Some Panzer IV-Hs, Panzer V-Gs, and a Tiger, which can be a Tiger II in December of 44 during the Battle of the Bulge. Terrain charts to tell where you're fighting. Obviously in June and July, you could be in the bocage. Woods open. In the end of the war, you can end up in urban terrain as well. Mission assignment chart, so you would roll on this as well to find out what kind of mission you're fighting, what you're doing. Anything from refit to move to contact, attack, defense even. So nice variety there. Weather charts, so you can have some randomization in your weather. And then your enemy troop quality at the bottom. So you can have anything from low quality, replacement level, Volksgrenadier, etc., to your general Wehrmacht, and then of course elite troops, which can be Fallschirmjäger or even SS. Here we have our counters. Now it does say a sheet and a half. It actually looks like 2 sheets actually here. So I probably won't rip the shrink on this. They're mostly markers, essentially, because this doesn't have a map. This is a mapless game. So, well, it's mainly a mapless game. I mean, this is technically the map, I suppose, which is your operations map. So my point is I wasn't going to actually pop these out and look at them. But you can see down here we have the medals that you can win. You also have some things about whether your hatches are open or if you're buttoned up, things like that. And this is ammunition. So you have, you know, your armor piercing, your high explosive, your Willy Pete, white phosphorus, etc., etc. Machine gun stuff here, smoke. And then on the back, you just have, this is the back of sheet 2. So these would be enemy units, and this is the wrecked side. So you have some wrecked tanks, you'll have wrecked self-propelled guns, half-tracks, etc., etc. Trucks. There's all kinds of enemy targets that you can face in this. Here we have our operations map, which has a nice sequence of play. You can see where you are in here as well. St. Lo, Operation Cobra, you got the Bulge, Arcourt, Siegfried Line, Operation Grenade, and the Rhineland. So that's kind of neat, and it's actually mounted too, which is cool. And then we have a second battle board also mounted. So that's nice as well. And this is actually the board that you actually play the game on. So you have 3 areas where the Germans might set up based on a die roll. 1 and 2 is in A, 3 and 4 is in B, 5 and 6 is in C. This is kind of abstracted somewhat, where you have the Germans are in one of these 3, or it could be, you could have somebody in all 3. And then they can make flanking maneuvers, and your tank will start at either close range, medium range, or long range. And you can maneuver between these, and there's things for terrain, your mission, the weather, and so on, and then smoke, etc., etc. So this is the one you're going to actually play the game on, essentially. And that's actually the bottom of the box. So there is a lot in here. When I got it, I was actually surprised that the box was somewhat narrow. It's like a 1-inch box, but it's got a ton of stuff in it. Well packed. The box does not have any real empty space in it, so once I punch the counters, getting them back in the box might be a bit of a challenge. But I'd rather have a tight box with a lot of stuff in it than an empty box any day of the week. So there you have it, a nice, hopefully not too long first look at what you get inside the game American Tank Ace, 1944-1945, from Compass Games. And as I mentioned earlier, it was designed by Gregory M. Smith. So as always, I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. Please consider liking, sharing, or subscribing if you would. I would greatly appreciate it. But even if you don't, I hope you got something out of the video and you may come back and check out some of my other stuff. So I am going to wrap this up right now. This has been Hexed Encountered. My name is Joe. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy gaming.